Today is Monday, 18th December 2017. I'm Ebony Brandon. These are this morning's top stories. Nationally, Nevis Island Assembly elections are underway. Internationally, billionaire Sebastian Pinera has won Chile's runoff presidential election. And in sport, Cricket West Indies reports 3 consecutive years of surplus. We've also got a look at today's updated weather forecast and Carib update. Now for a look at the news in detail. Today, more than 11,000 registered Nevisian voters will have the opportunity to determine which of the island's political parties will govern for the next 5 years. The Concerned Citizens Movement, for the first time in the party's 34-year history, has entered an election without Premier Vance Emery as party leader. At a CCM convention earlier this year, the organization's members chose fresh leadership in the person of Honorable Mark Brantley and now Deputy Party Leader Honorable Alexis Jeffers. On the ballot paper, the CCM, whose color is blue, is represented by a hammer. The Nevis Reformation Party's 5-man roster, meanwhile, is headed by Honorable Joseph Parry, who hopes to be returned as Nevis's premier. The NRP appears on the ballot paper as a bottle. Its color is green. On nomination day, 11th December, Supervisor of Elections Elvin Bailey announced the candidates in today's Nevis Island Assembly elections. Nevis 1 Charlestown will be contested by Honorable Roberto Hector of the Nevis Reformation Party, NRP, and Spencer Brand of the Concerned Citizens Movement, CCM. District 2 St. John's will be contested by Hensley Daniel of the NRP and Honorable Mark Brantley of the CCM. In District 3, Gingerland, the NRP's Corey Tyson will face the CCM's Eric Evelyn, who replaces Honorable Vance Emery. Newcomer Virgil Brown of the NRP will meet the CCM's Honorable Alexis Jeffers in District 4, St. James, and Honorable Joseph Parry of the NRP will contest District 5, St. Thomas's, along with the CCM's Keith Scarborough. Meantime, we had the opportunity here at SKN News Now to speak with persons on the ground in Nevis who've reported that the elections began this morning on time and have been progressing smoothly and without incident. Long lines of persons anxious to cast their vote turned out before the polls opened, and both parties have so far reported that their mobilization efforts appear to be paying off. At news time, the lines had thinned considerably. However, CCM leader Honorable Mark Brantley said the early and enthusiastic turnout this morning was encouraging, particularly in light of such an historic election.
Things are progressing very nicely. The voter turnout this morning was very heavy. It has trickled now, steady flow, and it tends to be heavy at early mornings and heavy again in the after work. So we expect that the voter turnout is going to be good. I know that the CCM team is very energized, and so far, based on the flow, we're looking very good. People are very energized. People recognize that we are making history today. We're having the first opportunity in 30 years to move beyond the two who have dominated the leadership scene in Nevis, Mr. Emery and Mr. Parry. And people have a clear choice. Do they return Joseph Parry, whom they have seen and they know, and whom they would have rejected after just one term? Or do they give a young leader an opportunity? And I believe that the energy that I'm seeing suggests that our people are prepared to give me that opportunity to serve. I will make Nevis proud. Nevis should be the place in all the region and the world where people feel most comfortable, where our people, those who are from here and our national community, feel at home, and that we can, through economic advancement, through social development, ensure that our island is the very best place to live and work in the entire region.
In international developments this morning, Chile has become the latest Latin American country to shift to the political right by electing conservative billionaire Sebastian Pinera as president. Pinera, a billionaire businessman who led the country from 2010 to 2014, easily overcame his center-left opponent in the runoff vote. It's the second time he's been elected to the country's highest office. Lucia Newman has details.
Chile's billionaire president-elect got what he wanted, another crack at the presidency. For the second time in 27 years, Chile has swung from the center-left to the center-right, both times with Sebastián Piñera, the market's favorite. The former president, a successful businessman, promises better times ahead as he extends an olive branch.
Quiero ratificar I want to renew my commitment to all Chileans, a commitment to unity and dialogue, and so I invite all of our previous presidents to share their experience and advice with me so that we can reach national agreements to tackle our biggest problems.
At the headquarters of centre-left candidate Alejandro Guillet, there were long faces. Guillet had run on the promise of accelerating the social reforms started by the current government of President Michelle Bachelet. But the former journalist's inexperience and Chile's sluggish economic growth ultimately gave the conservatives the upper hand. Piñera has been linked to several shady business deals and political scandals, but clearly it did not matter.
I think the general issue is that politicians are now so discredited that people just assume that they are liars or thieves or whatever, and then choose between the lesser of two evils.
Chileans have made their decision, joining the recent Latin American swing towards the political right. But Sebastián Piñera will not have an easy time of it, not only because the electorate has proven itself to be more demanding, but also because he will not enjoy a majority in the legislature.
Which means Piñera will have a hard time rolling back on still popular social reforms, as is happening in Brazil and neighboring Argentina.
Piñera government is going to be more of an administrative government. It's going to be very similar to what we saw in his first term in power. It's going to be more short-term oriented. It's going to be related to jobs.
But this time round, Sebastián Piñera will have to be less accommodating to the business elite. The election has shown that Chileans have become far more demanding and are expecting results, no matter how hard they may be to deliver.
And in sport this morning, Cricket West Indies is reporting 3 consecutive years of surplus following its achievement of the target set for the financial year 2016 to 2017, which ended September 30th. Marketing and Communication Manager Carol Beckford reported that President Dave Cameron is remaining optimistic that the policies in place and the newly formulated strategic plan will continue to keep the organization's financial management efficient, even as Cricket West Indies looks ahead to 2018, which they anticipate may be a difficult year. The Board of Directors, at its last quarterly meeting for 2017, held here in the Federation on Nevis from December 2nd to 3rd, has accepted the recommendations for the 5-year strategic plan, which seeks to produce world-class players, unlock the full potential of the West Indies brand, achieve equity of opportunities throughout the sport in the region, increase the number of Caribbean people involved in playing the sport. The focus of the 5-year plan has been informed by a series of stakeholder consultations with the policy and operational teams, which examine both the internal and external environments of the organization. And now we take a look at this morning's weather forecast. Across St. Kitts and Nevis today, skies will be partly cloudy with brief periods of increased cloudiness and a moderate chance of a passing shower. Tonight will be partly cloudy in general with brief periods of increased cloudiness and a moderate chance of a passing shower. Seas are moderate with heights reaching 1.8 meters or 6 feet. Small craft operators should exercise caution against marginally safe seas. Winds are east-northeasterly at 12 to 15 miles per hour, with higher spells over coastal waters and elevated terrain. The sea level pressure is 1016.9 millibars or 30.03 inches. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:35 a.m. and set today at 5:41 p.m. That brings us to the end of this morning's news package. However, before we go, a recap of this morning's top stories. Nationally, Nevis Island Assembly elections are underway. Internationally, billionaire Sebastián Piñera has won Chile's runoff presidential election. And in sport, Cricket West Indies is reporting 3 consecutive years of surplus. Thanks so much for tuning in. I've been your presenter, Ebony Brandon. Coming up next, Carib Update.